Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Top Split INDYCAR iRacing action live from the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course by myself, Mark Murphy, joined as always in the booth by open wheel oval ace Kyle Clinworth. And Kyle, we've got another fun treat for our fans this evening. We've got action from one of the oldest and most storied road courses that IndyCars visit, the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Tell us what do you expect from this evening?
I expect anyone who was in the Pro Series or was affiliated with a Pro Series team to be lightning fast. This was a track that saw a lap 1 catastrophe in the Pro Series, but a lot of drivers who worked their way into that competition put a lot of time and effort into the race craft and their race setups for tonight. They're going to have a blistering pace, and they will be able to leave the other drivers in the dust. Ones to note, look for Jacob Oster, Adam Blocker, Nathan Moore, to really stand out tonight.
Another one of those might be our good friend Nicholas Sudik. Nick was right on the edge of that. Yeah, Kevin Burrell. Those guys were. Kevin Burrell was in the Pro Series also, but Nick Sudik very close to the edge of that. Matt Taylor, noted road racer, is in the field tonight too. So there are some quality drivers here. 18, so a shorthanded split, but it is gonna be close. Nobody has as yet made a lap in qualifying. There are several on the course, but nobody has turned in a lap. So Clindy, tell us a little bit about what kind of a strategy you might expect tonight.
Really, I have no idea, Mark. I can lay out what I think might happen. Obviously, you have the primary tires and the alternate tires. The alternate tires have the red sidewall, and they are faster by a lot, but only for a few laps. However, I don't have the setups that these drivers have. It may be possible that they have found a way to squeeze more life out of the alternate tire to make it go longer, faster. But a full tank of fuel takes you about 24 laps. You could probably stretch that to 26 if you saved and got creative. This is a 42-lap race. So if you stretch 26 laps on the primary compound, it means you'd only have to go 15 or 16 laps on the alternates. And in my experience, that's about all the more they're good for in race trim.
Yeah, it's been my experience too here that the primary tires, the black sidewalls, are preferred. New addition to the scoring pylon today at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. We should be able to see in the pylon which tire these drivers are on, and that's going to be helpful as we navigate the race this evening. Times continuing to go up around. No surprise to any observer. Adam Blocker, quickest right now, 105.146, and we're going to get on board here with Nathan Moore just to kind of show our viewers what a lap around Mid-Ohio looks like. We're of course going down. Let's see. We are
going through the carousel right now.
Yeah, well, he's going through the carousel. Okay, so across turn 13, we're going to come toward the start-finish line. This is a hot lap for Nathan Moore, and this is exactly what you see, fans, going through turn 1, and then you're going to blast down this long straightaway here all the way up to 6th gear toward the keyhole. This is the most famous corner on the course. You see all the way up to 175 miles an hour. This long, hard first or second gear right-hander, depending on your setup. And then this is where in real life the race actually starts. You'll see a flag stand on your left right there as he blasts toward turn 4. And this, for me, is the hardest section, you go right off camber and then left off camber up. There's a crest right there. You can actually hear the rear wheels sometimes get off the ground. Through turn 6, this starts the S's. That's 7 and 8. And then a short blast to turn 9. The car wants to get upset through there. Now down through Thunder Valley toward turn 10, then 11. We'll head back for the carousel here in a moment. And there is a lap courtesy of Nathan Moore here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. We will see what kind of lap he does. Nathan Moore across the line. 1:05, 7:14. That is going to be good for third quick.
Third place.
Yeah, that's not a bad lap to be on board with, is it, Clindy?
Not at all, and it looks like he's going out for another one, maybe trying to best his first effort. A couple of corners that I want to point out as trouble spots. Obviously, the keyhole is probably the best passing opportunity on the track, as well as the 4-5 switchback combo at China Beach. Another place to look out for trouble is going to be through the S's. Turn 6 and turn 6 and turn 9 especially are blind. As you come through them and over these crests that Moore is in right now, you can't see the next turn when you're coming over this corner to turn right, and then this corner when you turn to right. Both of these apexes are blind. So if there's any trouble in front of you, you don't know, or you're going to require a spotter to navigate you around any car that's stopped in front of you.
Well, and the other thing that I always find challenging about this track in particular, Kyle, is that a lot of the corners are over crest, and the course falls away from you. So as you saw in that 4, 5, 6 complex, you come over the brow of that hill, and not only are you turning the wheel, but the banking of the course is falling away from you. Additionally, not only is the banking falling away from you, but the tires are wanting to lift off the ground because you're going over the crest of a hill. It is very difficult sometimes, even for the best of drivers here, to keep everything underneath them. Just in the normal course of a lap. And so I'm kind of looking at that as well. Who's got the setup dialed right? Because if you don't have your car dialed in here at Mid-Ohio, you are going to have problems. And we do have the field done and dusted here in qualifying. On the pole, Adam Blocker, to nobody's surprise. The Dark Knight on the pole here in Mid-Ohio. Outside of him, Jacob Oster, another Pro Series contestant, minute 5:3:06 for Jacob. Those two will share row 1. Nathan Moore, Kevin Burrell, the general, row 2. Alan Berteau and Nick Sudik will round out row 3. Matt Taylor and Olivia Hayward will be on row 4. Starting 9th and 10th in row 5, Sophia Connell and Caleb Brashear. In row 6, Logan Edwards and Sandy Ahmed. Row 7, Thomas Van Kirk and Sheng Zong. Row 8, Ali McGowan and Jim Matson. And rounding out the field, Uncle Rob Unglinkus, he's going to go 17th, and Lilac Zir, shotgun in 18th. That's going to be your field here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, and we should be getting close to grid time there, Clindy.
Yep, about 7/8 of the field's on track right now, ready to go. If I were starting in the first 2 rows, so Burrell on up, it's going to be very important if you're on the right-hand side, so if you're Oster or you're Burrell, to stay side by side out of turn 1 and to not get jumped through the carousel in turn 16 complex where we're going to be starting this race. Or sorry, turn 13, excuse me. Basically, just like at Spa, you've got this compressed right-left turning area where you're going to be starting the race, and between 12 and 13, I don't know if anyone watching has played the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, but when you're in the Forest Temple, there's a hallway that twists in front of you like a double helix. The road literally twists like a torus or a ribbon that you've folded to touch itself, and there's only one line where you can put the power down all the way without the car spinning out. So these drivers on the outside line who are not dictating the pace have to do everything they can to stay side by side with Blocker, Moore, and even Bertrand, who might be able to follow those two through down to turn 1 and on to the long straightaway before the keyhole.
That's absolutely right. And you want to get a good launch out of the keyhole as well. You'll see all sorts of varied lines and gear selections through that corner because it is absolutely vital that you get out of there in good shape so that you can make the long blast from the keyhole down to turn 4. Technically, there is a little kink back there. They call it turn 3. It's not really a corner, but it's just flat out from right here all the way down to the 4, 5, 6 complex, and you want to make sure that you get going, because between turns 1 and 2 and between turns 2 and 4 are really the only 2 passing spots at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course.
Yeah, that's where the push to pass is going to be used. You're going to be able to build big runs, especially through turn 1. Turn 1 feels like a flat oval turn. It's left. You've got a curb to the inside that you can use to decamber the car if you want, and you can run wide. There's a rumble strip out there. I just hope that drivers avoid calamity here on the first turn, on the first lap, because it has been known to claim many race car drivers' days before they deserve to be over.
Well, it would have claimed my day, well deserved, because I am not very good here. I always kind of look at Mid-Ohio as a beautiful track, one that is amazing to go to and it's amazing to see in person, but not one that I personally love coming to. But it is a beautiful course built in the 1960s, 1962. It's been through a ton of different owners. It is an FIA Grade 2 course, so right below the level needed to host Formula One. It's currently owned by Green Savory Promotions, but it's changed hands a number of times. At one point, Clindy, this place was owned by the late Jim Truman, Bobby Rahall's car owner.
It's only a matter of time before Roger Penske buys it, so we'll see.
I think it's only a matter of time before Roger Penske buys anything. Here we come. The race cars are coming through the final set of corners. The race is absolutely on. Here we go. 42 laps at Mid-Ohio.
Blocker played nice on the initial start. He didn't get a good jump away from Oster. He's going to have a shot into the keyhole here on the left side.
Adam Blocker down to the inside of Jacob Oster. Now, watch for the exit. Oster chooses to tuck back in. Kevin Burrell right behind them, followed by Nathan Moore and Nick Sudik. They're going to round out your top 5. There have been some cars off the course, but everybody so far clean and green as they head down through turn 3 and off toward the 4, 5, 6 complex. Oh, Jacob Oster takes a hit from Kevin Burrell, and Oster is off the course.
A hip check puts him into China Beach. Oster's going to have to navigate his way back onto the racing surface. He's going to be several seconds behind.
Let's go back here and see what we can see for Jacob Oster. He is still trying to get back on the course.
We have more trouble. Sophie O'Connell and others off. It's Thomas Van Kirk.
We will get to that in just a moment. Let's have a look at Jacob Oster coming down toward turn number 4. And I think Kevin may have just misjudged the braking there, puts Jacob in the beach. And now we're going to go find the Connell Van Kirk Madsen incident, because that is just up the road, and we'll stick with the same replay here, Clindy.
If you're going to see the 3 of them all get tangled up on exit there and just pile into the tires in the same.
Ooh! Appears as though the 14 car of Thomas Van Kirk just kind of got on the curb, came back across the track, nowhere for Van Kirk and Madsen to go. Or, excuse me, Connell and Madsen to go. You can see the 12 car, that's Sophia Connell, and she is absolutely demolished. She's going to limp it back around to pit lane. Oster, Connell, Van Kirk, and Madsen all on the pit road. We're going to go back to the lead. Adam Blocker has pulled out significantly on Kevin Burrell, and one would wonder if the General does have some damage on the front end of his Dallara from the collision with Oster. Everything appears to be in place, but you never really know if it's not slightly bent or scuffed, Clindy.
We could tell if we put a camera on there, but sometimes iRacing likes to lie to me, so I'm not going to claim definitively one way or the other.
Adam Blocker just set the fastest lap of the race, 108.154, 116.8 miles an hour. It doesn't appear, I don't see any scuffs, dents, or scratches on there. It all appears to be in place for Kevin, but you are exactly right, Clindy. Sometimes the damage can be hidden. You don't really notice it. We've got action back in the pack, though. Looking at Alan Berteau, Caleb Brashear, Logan Edwards, Matt Taylor. There is a fight from 6th through 9th.
And one slip up puts all the cars in this conga line side by side through the straightaways, but they've got to filter down to single file through the S's here.
Absolutely, and there's kind of a story with tires there too. You've got Olivia Hayward in 5th. She is on the alternate tires, the red sidewalls, and that's noted with the red arrow next to the driver's name in the scoring pylon. Alan Berteau behind Olivia is on the primary black sidewalls, but he has two cars, Brashear and Edwards, behind him. They are on the alternate. So the guys that are on the alternate red tires, they are going to want to get going here. The guys that are on the black sidewalls, the primaries, they are simply trying to hold station. You see Logan Edwards dive to the inside of Caleb Brashear. He'll take 7th from Caleb, move Caleb back to 8th. Matt Taylor follows along on his primary tire shod Dallara INDYCAR in 9th.
Oh, hey, really cooked into trying to beat She's off. She was looking to make a move on Nick Sudik. Minimize the damage there, not compounding the mistake. Really well done.
Absolutely. Olivia Hayward has done a tremendous job. A lot of improvements to that number 8 machine, and she has gone to 5th. Not quite. She made the big lunge there at Nick Sudik. Not quite there yet. Let's take a look on board from Olivia Hayward here. And there you see her chasing.
A little too hot.
Yeah, just a little bit too hot. My daughter would approve of that helmet purple with the pink butterfly or bow, as you were, depending on how you see it. I have to point that out to Charlotte later in the broadcast. My daughter Charlotte, but Nick, he's going to lock it up there, and that's going to let Olivia get a little bit closer now. Sudik is on the primaries, Olivia on the alternate, so she does want to get going here, Clindy.
Yeah, Ohei's got to be careful here not to make the same mistake. The reds are way better through the S's and through this China Beach complex. So if Ohei could be patient, an opportunity may open the door.
That's right, and it's all about patience when you have the alternate tires on. You definitely want to try to preserve them. As you said at the outset, we're looking 24, 25 laps, 23, 25 laps would be the fuel window. You're not going to want to run the alternate tires that long. A lap here is very quick, a minute 7, minute 8, depending. But you don't want to be on those alternate tires for 1 moment longer than you have to, Clindy. So you want to use them you want to get them while the getting's good, because there's going to be a crossover here in the next couple of laps, and when that happens, you need to be as far up as possible.
Not only that, with the limited opportunities for passing zones on this track, it allows you to run clean, fast laps when there's not a car on the
Whoa, we got action.
tire.
We've got action behind Olivia.
Yeah, Berteau really sent it in the keyhole. Got the front wing about as close as you could to the rear wheels there without any incident. And Edwards looking on the outside of Berteau here to China Beach.
Yeah, he does, and that just opens you up. If you miss the exit of the keyhole, you're going to struggle.
Oh, hey, it goes around right in front of them.
That's a tough break for Olivia. She was running so well, but she's going to slide back into the order. It appears as though she's going to slide in right behind Cheng Zhong. So move Olivia Hayward back to 11th, and let's see if we can see what we can see here on the number 8 machine. Here's Olivia Hayward. She's closing in behind Nick Sudik.
Exactly like we talked about in qualifying. When you go over that crest, the rear wheels get really unsettled. Oh, hey, just punch the throttle a little too soon. You've got to wait. You've got to be very patient with your right foot here. If you even so much as think about pressing the throttle a moment too early, you get spun around just like that.
Absolutely do. Don't want to let these gentlemen hog the TV time, but the battle on the racetrack remains. Sudik, Berteau, Edwards, and Brashear. This is 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Matt Taylor is in the background, a little bit further back, a couple of seconds in 8th. Adam Blocker leads it by 2.7 over the general Kevin Burrell. Nathan Moore is a further 2.5 back. So let's stick with the 4, 5, 6, 7 duel, because it's a good one, Clindy.
Yeah, not only that, they're on different strategies. That's what Matt Taylor loves the most about this duel. He wants to see these alternate tires leapfrog the primary tires right in front, so that way when their crossover happens, both Edwards and Brashear are slowing down Sudik and Berteau. However, they have yet to pass the drivers running 4th and 5th, and Matt Taylor languishes 2 seconds behind.
That's right, and I have not run here in some time, and so I would think that the crossover you're talking about is just about to happen, probably about now.
Time's running out. I think you get about 8 laps. 8 laps is when the reds or the alternates are great. then they're probably equal for about 2 laps, and then the primes take off from there.
Yeah, and you were saying that 456 complex, China Beach, was the place where the alternate tires were going to be superior. That's also the place when they go off that they feel absolutely terrible. In my pro qualifier, I put my car in China Beach and could not escape it due to worn reds that I held on to just a little bit too long. Logan Edwards all over the back of Alan Berteau, though. He knows he's going to have to go while he can, because if they don't, they're going to fall into the clutches of Matt Taylor in one big hurry.
Berteau is using every inch of the racetrack, left sides on those yellow curbs, both on entry and on exit.
Absolutely, he is, and that's how that's where the speed is right out there at the edges of the track toward the apex. It's also the most dangerous. One of the things that we kind of touched on last night in the Classic INDYCAR Series race was the graphics, how they've improved those. You can now see right there the grass and the rubber fly up when you get one of these cars offline. And Alan Berteau is definitely pushing those limits. When you see the grass flying in this group, it's most likely off of his car right now.
Yeah, Sudik has started to hike away.
And Matt Taylor has closed the gap. So we're looking at Berteau and Edwards. Caleb Brashear is behind them. And then that purple and aqua machine in 8th, that's Matt Taylor. At one point, he was close to 2.5 seconds behind this crew. He's now closed that down to 1.9. His last lap, 1:08.7. And that's pretty close to the times that Nick Sudik is doing. Alan Berteau, Logan Edwards, and Caleb Brashear have definitely started to slide that way. 1:08.557 for Alan Berteau. So those for Alan Berteau, 1:08.446 for Edwards. So those alternate tires as we start lap 10 have definitely started to peak, Clindy.
They have for some of the quicker drivers. Something that's interesting, right behind Matt Taylor is Ollie McGowan. He's been running more consistent times. His fastest lap was just a few laps ago. He ran a 1:08.7, and he's been running 1:08.8s and 1:08.9s ever since. So he's maybe gone a little softer on his pace just to make these alternate tires last a little longer. He's right in Matt Taylor's wake and hoping that Taylor can tether him along up to those positions ahead.
Absolutely. There you see a beautiful looking number 9 machine. Let's kind of go through the field here. We've got a little bit of a lull. Adam Blocker is your leader in the number 2, the Dark Knight Power Slide entry, is number 1 at the moment. Kevin Burrell, the General, that's Fiercely Ford. He is second after the early contact with Jacob Oster. Nathan Moore, he'll be third. And get a good look at Nathan's car there. Nick Sudik, a good friend at P1 Broadcasting, he is fourth in the Team Watson Racing entry. Get a chance to have a good look at that. The purple and light blue machine, Alan Berteau. In the white Hondola liveried car, he is fifth, and he's at the head of the train that we've been focusing on. Logan Edwards in the 10, and Caleb Brashear in the Jags number 13 car is seventh. Matt Taylor for MadWorks, he is 8th. And that car, you will never miss that thing on the track, Clindy. That baby is bright colors, and it is chrome, and I'm here for it, my friend.
Chrome and purple with the smiley face on the side. You're going to see those MadWorks graphics cars from a mile away.
Absolutely. I will say that I have unfortunately made contact with that smiley face in the past. So my apologies to Matt Taylor in advance for any past and future contact to the smiley face, but a beautiful looking machine. Ollie McGowan, he is 9th. We just talked about him. Preserving the alternate tires, Olivia Hayward. Oh, hey, runs 10th after the earlier off. Sandy Ahmed, the black
Shady Ahmed.
Shady Ahmed, black and gold. It's almost a Marlboro McLaren livery, but with mobile on the side of it. But a good looking machine nonetheless. Ching Zhong have not seen in an IndyCar top split, but that is the gray number 15 Huskenveld on the side for Ching Zhong. Robin Glenkus, Uncle Rob in the familiar green and what sand is that, Clindy?
Yeah, I would probably call it a taupe or maybe what do you call that, beige?
Yeah, something like that. Good showing for Uncle Rob. He is 13th. Lilac Zier, the black and pink, she is 14th. Good running for Lilac Zier. Sophia Connell, 15th, involved in earlier contact, the number 12. Jacob Oster in the i5G car, he is 16th. He's already been on pit road, and he is off the course one more time. Jacob Oster, and he is punched out. That'll be the end of the day for Jacob. Jim Matson is 17th. And Thomas Van Kirk in 18th has retired the car as well. So that is through the field. We will pick back up with the Sudik Bruteau Edwards Brashear fight, because this is, again, the best one on the course. You've got, what, really 4 cars separated by just a handful of car lengths there, Clindy.
Yeah, and they're chain linked together effectively. If any one of these cars makes one misstep, if it's Sudik, he loses 3 spots and then 1 less for every car behind him. And it's just one small mistake would kick you to the end of this line.
Yeah, just a bobble anywhere, and there's the best place for it. Coming over that crest at turn 6, trying to get down to the S's. You're trying to get power down there, and we saw it happen to Olivia Hayward. You get back to the gas just one heartbeat too soon, and around she goes. So you got to be really careful through the exit of turn 6. But so far, Sudik and the Prime tires, along with Alan Berteau, they've held off the charge of the alternate reds of Edwards and Brashear, and the longer that goes, the better it's going to be. Although I have to give compliments to Edwards and Brashear. They have not fallen off as much as one would expect.
Not only that, at this point, they're going to get ready to pit, and they're going to come in and put on their own primary tires, and they're going to be on the racetrack, presumably. I mean, Adam Blocker might be their only company, right? And following that guy around is a recipe for really fast lap times.
Absolutely. And here's the other thing. We haven't talked about it, but the weather here. It is absolutely gorgeous and perfect conditions to have a race at Mid-Ohio. You get 66 in the air, 87 on the track, 75% humidity. It's a bit windy out of the south at 15, but Clindy, if there's a recipe for going fast that's any better, I don't know where it is.
Well, Nick Sudik is hoping that the weather stays constant, but the lapped traffic might move out of the way. See if that cold front can find a different system to work around. Batsim is right in front of them.
Absolutely.
Sudik unbothered for now, but it could really play into the hands of Edwards and Brashear, who are going to be looking to get to pit road here in the next handful of laps.
Absolutely. And again, different agendas. So the guys on the alternate tires, they want to get past here so they can lay down fast laps. The guys on the primary, Sudik and Bruteau, I don't know that Nick Sudik is going to be that unhappy with a lap car. That gives him a chance to lift and coast, maybe save a little fuel the longer he can stay on those primaries. And we're going to see Matson pull over, but the longer he stays on those primaries, the better it is for him. That means not only can he take less fuel to the end, Clindy, but as we know, the shorter period of time you got to be on those alts, the harder you can push them.
Yeah, it's just like qualifying, right? If you can come out on those alternates at the end of the race with a light tank, you get to rip. You can put down a 105 just like Blocker did in Q. And that's like 3 seconds faster than they're running right now, right? So that's passing these guys and putting 2 football fields between yourself and them.
Absolutely. And to tell you how fast Adam Blocker ripped off that qualifying lap, the track record here, the outright track record, by the way, is held by Will Power, 2016 in the Honda Indy 200. He went 105.26. Adam Blocker and Jacob Oster were not that far off of the outright track record. And then of course you always have the contingent that asks, well, what about the champ cars? Juan Pablo Montoya in 1999 in a Reynard, in his Reynard 106.788. So these cars are much faster than even the champ cars were around this facility. And we are just about equal to that from the sharp end of the grid here in the sim, which only speaks to the level of excellence on this grid. When they're close to real life times in these things around a track like this, you know they're pretty darn good.
Absolutely, the people at iRacing have done a great job creating a simulator that sims, right? It's not just a video game.
I'll absolutely agree with that. We're working lap 17 of 42. Adam Blocker leads it from Kevin Burrell. We are watching, and Nathan Moore in third. We are watching 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. That is Sadiq Bruteau, Edwards, and Brashear. This is by far the closest battle on the speedway. Matt Taylor is the interested party there in the MadWorks machine. He is 8th and barely at the end of the picture. And give a call down to Olivia Hayward. Ohe has worked it back into 9th after her earlier half spin. So kudos to her for staying in it. Bruteau now all over the back of Nick Sadiq. Bruteau looking for any way he can to get around Nick. He's tried inside, he's tried outside, he's feinted on multiple occasions. He just can't quite get it done, Clindy.
How are all of these drivers looking on push to pass, Mr. Murphy? That might give us some insight as to which of them are saving fuel and which of them are trying desperately to pass one another.
You know, that's a doggone good question, Clindy, and let's go ahead and pop that up. Adam Blocker has not
Edwards dived off to pit road.
Absolutely. So he's had enough of the reds, and this is right out of the alternate reds. This is right at the beginning of the window. Adam Blocker just pushed the button for the first time. He's got 191 seconds. Kevin Burrell, 178. Nathan Moore is at 200. Nick Sadiq, he's pressed it a decent amount, as has Alan Bruteau. Caleb Brashear is sitting on a mountain. So the 6th place car, 189 seconds. Matt Taylor at 167 seconds, 165 now. He's been pretty lenient with the button so far. The lowest in the field, Sandy Ahmed, 125 seconds, or Shady Ahmed, excuse me. Shady has been on the button quite a bit early in the run, running 9th. With the primary tires, he's been using it. So that's kind of where we stand on push to pass there, Clindy.
Yeah, so I mean, that tells me that Brashier's been fine just tailing these two other cars on the primaries, using the draft to tow him along rather than relying on push to pass or anything else. Brashier's done a great job. He's closed right up to Bruteau here, the first lap that Edwards pulled off the track.
Absolutely.
I thought these alternate tires would give up way more pace than they've had. They seem to be very competitive.
They do indeed, and that could be an alternate call from Caleb Brashear. We saw Logan Edwards. He was the 4th car in this now 3-car battle. He came to pit lane as soon as possible to take his primaries. Caleb Brashear may be calling a little bit of an alternate here. Hey, these things are still good. I might want to stay out just a little bit longer, just so I can take less fuel to the end. So that could be a call that he's making. Meanwhile, the general Kevin Burrell just set the fastest lap of the race, 107.597 from the Fiercely Ford driver. He is now 0.2 of a lap quicker than Adam Blocker. He's got it down. It was as many as 4.5 seconds. The general has closed it down, Clindy, to just under 4 seconds that last time by, and looking for more. So Kevin Burrell, in the closing stages, we anticipate the guys on the primaries are going to run it dry. In the closing stages of the run, the general is making a charge.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe he might bolt on the alternates here quickly or before Blocker just to try to shave that gap and put himself in the catbird seat, or the driver's seat here, in control and commanding the tempo, or the marching orders, if you will. But Blocker now has lap traffic right in front of him, and it's Ollie McGowan. It's not quite to the point where Blocker is going to have any interference, but I do know that Adam likes to pass cars as quickly as possible, and so I don't know if Ollie will just roll over.
No, and you wouldn't think so. And the other thing is, if you're Adam Blocker and you can't get by the lap car of Ollie McGowan, do you come to pit lane, or do you stay out and allow Kevin Burrell to close the gap? It's such a neat shot there. This gyro cam shows you exactly the perspective of the drivers going around these corners. And that's the thing here, Clindy. Out of these cars, you don't really see all that much.
No, you can't see anything. You've got a unicorn horn blocking you right in front of your eyeballs. You've got the roll hoop around the top of the screen, or the arrow screen. And then the dash wraps around. You probably have like 15 degrees of vision in front of you. So if you wear glasses, Imagine putting your fingers around your glasses or pretending like you've got Spider-Man goggles on your face, right? That's all you get to see in these cars. Ollie McGowan pulls over for Blocker, much to his delight.
And much to Kevin Burrell's chagrin, Kevin might be hoping Ollie would put up more of a fight to stay on the lead lap. Of course, Ollie McGowan knows that Adam Blocker is due for his own service here very shortly. One more time through turn 13 down the front straight. So Adam Blocker is not going to pit yet. The general is also going to stay out. And Blocker answers back to Burrell's fast lap, 107.573, 117.8 miles an hour for Adam Blocker. That is blistering quick in race trim, Clindy.
That man's got to walk because he is cooking.
You know, my dinner was delayed tonight due to my warring children, so we had to step in and play and give motivational speeches prior to dinner time, and thus mine was delayed. Maybe you can whip me up a medium rare steak and a potato. That might be kind of welcome here, Kyle.
Well, Matt Taylor has decided to call up the pits and grab himself some ice cream from his pit crew.
He absolutely has, and this is right at just about halfway, or it's a little bit past halfway. So we will flip from laps complete to laps to go. Matt Taylor has come in and put the alternate red sidewall tires on the MadWorks car, and he will rejoin the fight, as Paul Page would say, into 11th. He is right behind Logan Edwards, and he made up quite a bit of time on that exchange. If you recall, Clindy, he
was out of the draft range prior to pit, and now he's right in the wake. So he made up probably about a second and a half.
We have dueling fast laps at the front, Clindy. Kevin Burrell said, I can do better than that. The general pipes in 107.546. So he and Adam Blockers were watching the MadWorks machine of Matt Taylor. Kevin Burrell, and he's got the draft that is the number 9 of Ollie McGowan. He had the draft, and so that may have played something into it. McGowan is going to move off in China Beach, off the line into the marbles. That's always a gutsy maneuver, I'll say that for him. But he moves off the line, lets Kevin Burrell through. But these two are having their own private battle at the front. It might not be so much for position at this point, but it's to see who can be the fastest around Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, if Burrell had stuck closer to Blocker in the opening 2 laps and not thrown elbows with Jacob Oster, this would be a very competitive race at the front. Their pace has been nearly identical the entire evening. Blocker again goes purple here with a 107.44.
How about that? And they just continue to lower the times. And we'll get you on board. We'll do it from the roll hoop of Kevin Burrell, the general. You get to see his view on the primary tires. The Bumblebee painted, or Wasp painted, Fiercely Ford machine. You get a much better view from up here, don't you, Kyle?
You might, but it's definitely terrifying. There's a lot of stuff that could come at you really quickly. I would hate to be on the exterior of any one of these cars. I know I've seen many different broadcasts have cameras' careers ended by clumps of rubber, debris, wing, everything like that. It just puts in perspective how much danger these real drivers are in these open cockpits, and I'm so glad for the aero screen. Really,
absolutely. I mean, there have been countless incidents of pieces of rubber. James Hinchcliffe immediately springs to mind, being hit in the helmet with one of those at Indianapolis, of all places. Kevin Burrell, and you'll see it. He dives onto the pit lane here at Mid-Ohio, and that is tricky. Kevin Burrell down to the pit lane. You hear the audible noise of pit lane, and we'll cover the stop for Kevin Burrell. He is no doubt coming down with 18 to go. He's going to put on the alternate red sidewall tires, and he is going to have at least one lap on Adam Blocker to use those red tires to their greatest effect. Kevin Burrell down and away. He was 8.1 seconds in the box, 25.9 on the pit lane, and out onto the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course goes the general Kevin Burrell. And I would bet you a shiny new dime, Clindy, we're going to see Adam Blocker on the pit lane as soon as he can get there.
Perhaps. Blocker's been setting his fastest laps of the race on this light tank with these old primaries. I don't think he's too concerned about what Burrell does on fresh alternates.
And maybe he wants to see what the pace is. If he's got a couple of laps left in the tank, why not? Adam Blocker is going to stay out one more time So let's see what kind of pace the general can put up here. He does have Caleb Brashear out, 1.7 seconds in front of him. And that can, we'll see if that plays any kind of havoc. There's Brashear. He is up there. But Kevin Burrell has started using all of the road, the grass, the curbs. Caleb Brashear is going to hit pit lane. But the grass, the curbs, areas that are paved and some areas that are not. But pit stops have begun now in wholesale fashion. Brito and Brashear on the pit lane.
One quick note, Taylor did muscle by Edwards side by side through China Beach in the S's. So his alternates beat Edwards' primes here, and we'll see if Edwards can fight back later in the day.
We shall see. We thought that the crossover would have been about 10 laps. Kevin Burrell on the button, and I'm anxious to see how this is going to turn out because Burrell is now in clear track. He is about 27 seconds away from Adam Blocker now. And so we're going to see how close he can get. Remember, the gap was, 4 seconds, Clindy? A little bit more than that?
Yeah, about 4.5, and Blocker's on pit road now. So once he gets out and gets up to speed, we'll see if that's increased, decreased, or stayed the same.
Absolutely. Burrell using the button as much as possible here. Through turns 12 and 13. Adam Blocker is exiting the pit lane, and this is going to tell the story. I do not see Kevin Burrell behind him.
He's a whole straightaway behind, Murph. Burrell's going to have to hope that lap traffic inconveniences Adam Blocker just enough for him to get within striking distance. He's probably, he shaved it about 0.8 of a second, but that's not enough. Guess who just went purple? It's Nick Sudik.
How about that? Nick Sudik in his second lap on the alternate tires has pulled out a banger. 106.942 for Nick Sudik. That was quicker than Kevin Burrell's second lap on the alternate tires. So Nick Sudik is hauling the mail. Now he does have quite a bit of road up to Nathan Moore. It's 13 seconds and a bit up to the third place runner. But Nick Sudik flashes some speed here at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, sadly, getting purple here will show that he's definitely the best of the rest, but it'll be a really long road to hoe to put Nicholas Sudik on the podium this afternoon or this evening, or this morning, depending where you are. Kevin Burrell, it's morning for him out in Japan.
Absolutely. And speaking of wherever you are and what time it is, we would love to thank everybody who is watching the broadcast. We do have quite a few of you out there watching it live, and definitely we know that there are alternate opportunities for entertainment. As I glance to my left, my wife is intently watching the coin flip between the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the Ohio State Buckeyes, and so I know that there are alternate opportunities for entertainment this evening. But if you do like the broadcast, do us a solid. Hit the like button on the stream. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell. Do those two things. Those are the best two ways you can help us out. If you respect the stream, we do have a GoFundMe to kind of help all of us out. These are not free to produce, and they do take time and money. And so we do definitely appreciate anything that you might toss our way. But again, one more time, the easiest and best thing you can do to help us out: hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel, and we definitely do appreciate that. Alan Berteau has now caught Nick Sudik, who no longer holds the fastest lap because that has now gone back to Adam Blocker. Minute 6, 2:66, and they are approaching track record speed here, Clindy.
Yeah, in race trim, which is phenomenal. A couple of questions for the chat. As we see, we have 9 thumbs up on the video, which is awesome. Thank you, everyone. Have you ever been to Mid-Ohio, Murph? I know it's in your neighbor state. And as someone from the Midwest, have you trekked out there and seen these Indy cars rip in real life?
It is on the list. I have not yet had a chance to make it, although that's more down to usually where it falls on the calendar than it is a desire to go.
Pretty dang hot, right? When they go to Mid-Ohio?
Well, it's also hot in Wisconsin when they do Road America, for sure. I just haven't had a chance to make it. These races, Mid-Ohio and Road America in particular, as I understand it, are both best done with a motorhome or a camper situation, and that opportunity just has not yet presented itself. One of my best memories of going to any race was with several friends and our wives rented a motorhome and drove it to Road America. Spent 4 days in the forest in Wisconsin. That was an absolute blast, and I would love to repeat it here. Just haven't had the opportunity to do it yet, but I will make it one of these days. It's on the list for sure, Clindy. Have you been? It's also in your former neck of the woods.
I mean, Ohio's a little further away from Illinois, but no, I've never been to Mid-Ohio.
Oh, Clindy, it's not that far.
I had been to Ohio exactly once when I lived in Illinois. I went to Columbus.
And for what reason would one from Illinois trek to Columbus, Ohio? I'm just curious.
So, namesake of the race, Ohio. There's OhioCon. I was at one time in my life a cosplayer, so I dressed up as various anime characters and took pictures and stuff all around downtown Columbus, and saw a bunch of Blue Jacket players get off the bus after they returned from a road trip, which was pretty cool.
Very cool. Very cool indeed. Working 12 to go here. Nick Sudik still under fire from Alan Bruteau. They have separated themselves, Clindy, and I hate to cut you off. They separated themselves from these two. That's Caleb Brashear in the front of Matt Taylor, but Taylor has bided his time, Clindy. He's waited, and he is now all over the back of the number 13 machine of Caleb Brashear.
Always inch by inch. You can never pass a car all at once. So Matt Taylor's doing it just right. He's got to stalk his prey and find the time to go for the kill.
Absolutely. And another one worth mentioning, Clindy.
Shady Ahmed, man. He's up 4 spots. Biggest mover, I think.
Yeah, he is. And credit to Shady Ahmed. That's absolutely an awesome drive for him. I was thinking more Olivia Hayward Ohe has made it back into the top 10. She spun it off earlier. She's brought it back, shown a lot of pace in that number 8 car. Give a shout out to Ohe in 10th. And then, because she's gotten by Cheng Zhong, and Lilac Zier actually would be the mover. Lilac was shotgun on the field 18th. You see her right there in front of Adam Blocker. Both those cars on the primary tires, but Zier has moved all the way up to 12th from 18th. So shout out to her. You'll see her give way to Adam Blocker through the keyhole. Well done.
Oh, and Connell's returned to the track, so Connell will now be the next lapped car for Blocker to navigate. Everyone's shown Blocker a lot of respect on the racetrack. No one's really raced him for the lap, which I'm sure he appreciates. But Kevin Burrell is pretty mad about.
Yeah, and look, I mean, you know, it's the courteous thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Sometimes it's a difficult thing to do, as I discovered during the Velocity Online race at Watkins Glen that you called, Clindy. Some controversy over that, but it can be difficult to get out of the way correctly, because you don't want to put your car into a bad spot, but then you don't want to impede anybody either. And again, well done, Sophia Connell. She'll get out of the way and let Adam Blocker through and resume the battle with, well, she's on her own lap, so never mind. But I thought maybe resuming a battle with another car. You see the General Kevin Burrell. He is off in the distance now, 5 seconds back. Christian Steele piped in and said, "Dang, Blocker, be fast." He has. Adam Blocker dominant today at Mid-Ohio. 10 laps to go on the button. He's got the alternate red tires on, and he is slowly but surely, inch by inch, as you say, Clindy, driving away from the field.
Yeah, and for our metric followers in the chat, an inch is about 2.54 centimeters.
I don't believe they taught me that at Ball State, Clindy. I was lucky to be able to leave that place with being able to add, and here you are with mathematical facts. Always love it.
Well, science is just observed math, and I like observing. That's what I'm doing here, watching a race.
That's right. We're observing an entertaining race. We've got a car coming to pit lane without a nose.
Uh-oh.
Who is that?
That is Cheng Zhong.
That is Cheng Zhong. Let's see if we can't figure out what happened to Cheng Zhong here. And these replays, that's contact with Olivia Hayward, and we need to see what went down here. That's Hayward.
So I can explain it before you see it if you want me to.
Go right ahead, Clindy.
So Ohe put her left sides on the curb that separates turn 1 from the pit out. It kind of serves as a barrier to protect cars that are rejoining the racetrack. And like I said, it's like an oval or like the Milwaukee Mile. You can use the curb to de-wedge the car. It just got her sideways in the middle of the corner, and she held the brakes appropriately, but poor Cheng Zhang had nowhere to go.
And just right in the back of Olivia Hayward goes Cheng Zhang. And that's going to send both of them to the pit lane. We'll go live. Cheng Zhang back out on the track. He's got a new front wing, but that's going to drop him to 14th. Olivia now 13th. And she had made up all that ground. And so disappointment for her for sure. Meanwhile, the two battles that we have on the track, Sudik and Berteau, not as close as this one. Matt Taylor all over the back of Caleb Brashear.
Taylor's doing a really good job. He's maximizing his entries and his exits. I think Brashear is getting caught up looking in the mirror here. You see Taylor stepped out about half a tire width wider before at the end of the carousel before this exit to turn 1. Brashear really put the power down. I think we're going to see a drag race down the front stretch after turn 1.
Absolutely. Shinsina in the chat said this.
That's Jacob Collins.
Yeah, Jacob Collins. How about you, Jacob Collins? Meanwhile, we're missing action on the track. Matt Taylor gets to the inside of Caleb Brashear. They'll drag race down toward turn 6, 7, 8 complex. And Collins, I don't know about you, but this is my most unfavorite part of the track. I always feel like I'm sliding through here. Taylor's going to be on the outside, the dirty part of the track. He'll have the line here, but he can't get the power down. Caleb Brashear will maintain position. But Jacob Collins says it is a blast to drive, especially on the new asphalt. And he says there are a lot of great new places to watch. So maybe I'll have to move Mid-Ohio up on my list. I wonder when iRacing is going to rescan this joint, Clindy.
Well, I hope they do Road America first, but we'll see.
Ooh, Road America. Now, that's a good one. I'm kind of on the fence about repaving tracks because sometimes the older they get, if they're maintainable, they get roughed up, especially if they're in the Midwest or the northern part of the country like these two tracks are, the two tracks that we're talking about, Road America and Mid-Ohio. They get roughed up. They start chewing up the tires a little bit, and that makes for actually better racing than a perfectly billiard table smooth surface like one you might find in Indianapolis. There is nothing rough.
Taylor will not quit. Sorry,
No.
he's going to have another run here into China Beach on Brashear. Let's see if he tries a different tactic. No, to the inside again. He's going to have to mind those marbles at the top of the hill.
Well, and does he give him room? This time
Brashear.
Brashear gets in the marbles. Now Taylor's in them. But Matt Taylor is going to complete the pass. I was going to say Taylor might just kind of widen him out there and force him into the marbles. And that's not exactly what happened. Brashear wound up on the gripless side of the track all the same. And just on cue, Alan Berteau has closed the gap right back up to Nick Sudik, and they'll have a go for 4th and 5th.
So something that's interesting is when somebody passes you, you get to watch and see what they were doing, what they did to be faster than you, and you can learn, and you can pick up some pace that way.
You absolutely can. That's how I learned to be fast on ovals, Clindy. I just followed you.
Thank you. Your flattery has not gone unnoticed.
Meanwhile, for those of you interested, Notre Dame has just moved. It is 0-0 with 8.5 to go in the first quarter. The Irish have the ball in the red zone on the Ohio State Buckeyes as Alan Berteau off the road at China Beach. He avoided the sand, but that is going to cost him a lot of valuable time. And dare I say, Clindy, it's going to drop him a 2.5 seconds behind Nick Sudik. It might end his shot at claiming that position.
Yeah, that's basically a touchdown Sudik there if you're a Nick Sudik fan at home. He's up 7 with probably 7 minutes left here in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. Logan Edwards has come under fire from Shady Ahmed. This is for 8th and 9th. And so this battle has been brewing for a little bit. And let's give a shout out. We've got good fights all over the track. Ollie McGowan is looking out the back of his machine. And you know what he sees, Clindy?
Uncle Rob!
It is Rob Unglakis who has arrived at the gearbox of Ollie McGowan, and they're going to have a go for 11th and 12th here. Are those leaves on the track, Clindy? Look like leaves there for a second.
Some sort of debris.
Some sort indeed. That's such a great shot, though, looking out the back, right on the gearbox of these cars. Would love to thank Whiplash SimCams for everything that they do to support P1 Broadcasting and our channel, because these views are absolutely amazing. Top shelf work from the guys over at Whiplash. Looking at Shady Ahmed, or excuse me, Ollie McGowan, battle with Rob Iglesias. Rob has fallen back a little bit. Let's check out Logan Edwards and Shady Ahmed. If Uncle Rob fell back from Ollie McGowan, the pressure is building from Shady Ahmed up to Logan Edwards. Do have a note here that the number 9 of Shady Ahmed, they've been complaining about the marbles in their live stream, and that's something that's fairly new from iRacing. The marbles have always been there from an imaging standpoint, but now they have an effect on the car. And talk about, Clindy, what happens when you get out on those things.
Yeah, so imagine that everywhere you normally drive has glue on the racing surface, and your car feels like it's stuck there. And as soon as you go through the marbles, you've got all this hot glue on your tires, but now you've got rocks and grit and nasty stuff on your tires that makes it so it's really hard to touch the rest of the glue. Your tire is picking up a bunch of stuff that makes it go slower on the rest of the track that's clean.
And we just saw that. Shady Ahmed made the lunge. Now, he did it on the outside going into turn 6, and he and Logan Edwards are going to be side by side as they arrive in the S's. And because Logan Edwards was on the clean side of the track when they got there, he will retain the spot. Shady Ahmed is going to need one more try to get back by the car of Logan Edwards. Again, we're watching the battle for 8th and 9th. The front positions, Adam Blocker, Kevin Burrell, Nathan Moore, have more or less been decided here. Almost 7 seconds back to Kevin Burrell from Adam Blocker. And then there's a 6-second gap between Burrell and Moore. And then you've got a 20-second gulf back to 4th place, Nick Sudik. So the top 3 positions have been decided. Alan Berteau has fallen back a bit from Nick Sudik. Matt Taylor is now firmly ensconced in 6th from Caleb Brashear. So this is the best battle on the track. And Shady Ahmed is going to have one more go, it appears, on the button. Here we go.
I think he's going to have more than just one.
They were both after it. You saw Logan Edwards lock up just a little bit. Oh. Apparently we had the intelligence wrong. It was Ollie McGowan that was complaining about the marbles, but the point still held. We saw it happen live here on the P1 Broadcasting Network, especially with Kyle Clinworth's spot-on analysis and description. That is exactly what the marbles feel like. It's like going from driving on glue to driving on ice. For those of you watching...
Oh, go ahead.
By the way, for those of you watching the race and missing the football game, if you're in Indiana, you're probably a pretty happy camper. If you're in the great state of Ohio, you are probably not. I just heard the wife scream, looked over to my left. Notre Dame just punched it in, 7-0, Fighting Irish. Here they come. Final lap. The white flag is out. And Shady Ahmed, that poor guy, he's tried everything to get by Logan Edwards. He's on the preferred tire. He's saved enough. Both of them get loose coming over the brow of that hill. They are not giving up, Clindy.
Well, so the white flag is out for Adam Blocker, who's well ahead of these guys. They're going to have one more lap after the completion of this lap to settle their fight.
I will go ahead and pop up Adam Blocker just to see him cross the line. The 2 cars that we're talking about are 50 seconds, so nearly a full lap in arrears to the leader. So we're going to get a chance to see that battle after Adam Blocker does cross. And I've got my finger right on the button. Here comes Adam Blocker through the final series of corners. He's going to pull onto the main straightaway. Adam Blocker will be your winner here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And immediately back to Logan Edwards and Shady Ahmed. Ahmed makes the dive to the key, only gets it loose. Sideways, Shady Ahmed goes off. Logan Edwards will retain the spot. Logan Edwards going to come home 8th. And poor Shady Ahmed, he did everything he could to make that move, Clindy, and it just didn't work. Here we go. We'll watch it. we said they were almost a lap down, and that was exactly it. They were coming through turn one. Ahmed on the button, and just too much speed going through turn number one. We'll get on the roll bar. Locked up the left front, or the right front, excuse me. I would assume the rears were also locking up. He saves it once, can't save it again. Around he goes. Thankfully, he's right near that access road, and so he's able to get going again. But a tough break for Shady Ahmed. He does not lose a spot in that exchange, but he's going to come home, I would imagine, a disappointed 9th. And how about Lilac Zaire is going to be 10th? What a race, Clindy.
Huge race and a lot of last lap action for Nick Sudik. Yeah, he had to avoid a spinning race car out of China Beach. It was Cheng Zong, and he went offline, collected some marbles, and gave Alan Bertrot just the slightest sliver of hope. He was able to reel him back down to half a second, but couldn't materialize a move on the last third of the racetrack, and Sudik brought it home, held the pretty wheel, finished 4th. Well deserved. Speaking
of pretty wheels, Adam Blocker is going to be your winner tonight. 7.8 seconds in hand over the general in second. Kevin Burrell is going to come home on the middle step. Nathan Moore, a now regular visitor to the P1 broadcasting booth, will have the bronze medal. He'll be third. Nick Sudik is fourth. Alan Berteau will round out your top five. Matt Taylor is sixth. Caleb Brashear seventh. Logan Edwards eighth. Shady Ahmed ninth. Gave it his all, couldn't quite get there. And Lilac Zaire, a sterling drive, up 8 spots to finish 10th, Clindy. In 11th, Ali McGowan. Robin Glakis is 12th. Uncle Rob also came from the back, so good result for him. Cheng Zong, after the collision with Ohe, is 13th. Speaking of Ohe, she'll come home 14th. Sophia Connell 15th. Jim Matson 16th. Jacob Oster, involved in a collision on lap 1, is 17th. And Thomas Van Kirk will round out the field shotgun. He will be 18th. After a different incident early on, he made a grand total of 2 laps. So that was fun, Clindy.
Isn't it always? That's why we show up Monday nights. That's why we stream it.
Absolutely, man. It was a ton of fun.
I'm glad that the marbles were prominent but not back-breaking. It felt like anytime drivers were side by side, it let a driver on the unpreferred line or the outside line put the driver in the dominant position, in a position on the switchback to be in those marbles and give them a shot to move forward. It's something that's new to the service this season, and I'm glad that it inspires or provides and allows for some dynamic racing.
Absolutely. And speaking of dynamic, Mr. Clinworth, we've got some drivers, and we're gonna do 4 tonight. We are absolutely gonna do 4 because Nick Sudik is in the waiting room, and I want to hear from Nick. Mr. Sudik, Mark Murphy, and Kyle Clinworth in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was just congratulating the podium. I wasn't expecting an interview here. Hi.
Well, don't come to the
best of the rest.
Yeah, don't come in
class.
Don't come in the interview room unless you want to be interviewed, brother. You know the rules, right? So
yeah. We'll make it quick, Mark. What's up?
Yeah, man. Tell me about your day. You and Alan Berteau staged one absolutely titanic duel there for most of the race. Talk to me about it, my man. Tell me how that went.
Yeah, the car was set up perfect for short run pace to get that track position. Dirty air is so bad here. Through a lot of the places you can gain time. Think turn 1. Think going through like China Beach. Like a lot of dirty air can really throw you off in those spots, and that's a good chunk of time. And you could see I was gaining time even with the older tires. So I just kind of wanted to try to keep track position, do the advantage I had early, and just do some smart defense.
Yeah, smart defense ruled the day. But man, that was he was taking his shots. So we definitely, Clindy and I definitely appreciated the smart defense. But while we got you up here, Clindy, do you have anything for P4 today, Nick Sudik?
Did you think that your race was over coming into the last lap when you saw trouble through China Beach?
I was hoping, no shade to Shady there. I was hoping that he would just stay put because P4, P5, P6 were all coming together. But he also was trying to, get back, recover, which I totally understand. I was scared because the marble buildup through that section off track is horrible. And you could see I lost 3/4 of a second coming to the line. I was like, oh, please just don't lock up into the final turns. Please don't lock up. And thankfully, I just kind of played it safe. And yeah, no, I wasn't worried about getting run into. I was just more worried about just losing too much time and having Alan take a dive at me to the end there. But yeah, no, shout out to him, man. He's got great top end speed. He's got great 1-lap pace, man. I'm just thankful I've built up a lot of consistency. And little peek behind the curtain, I have been getting used to a load cell break this entire race. So every lap was an adventure for me. So but yeah, thanks to you guys. Thanks, congrats to Adam, Kevin, and Nathan, especially Nathan coming out and showing up week in, week out and supporting the series. It's great to see him and a lot of high level talent here. So
absolutely. I know you want to get back to your conversation with the other guys that finished on the podium, and I know that there are other items of interest occurring that involve the great state of Ohio tonight. So we will let you go attend to those things. But congratulations on a fine run tonight, Nick, and thanks for being entertaining, man. That was a blast to watch.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Take care. Love you all. Bye.
Absolutely. That's Nick Sudik. He's going to come home fourth today, and always a pleasure to speak with him. And speaking of pleasures to speak with, how about Nathan Moore coming home third? Nathan, Mark Murphy, and Kyle Clinworth in the P1 Broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do. Can you hear me?
Most certainly can, my man. It looked kind of like it was a little lonely at times for you. There was quite a gap between you and Brell and then you and Sudik, but sometimes lonely isn't always without its challenges. Tell us about your day, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, coming into this, Mid-Ohio's not a track I really get along with at the moment, so I definitely need to do more practice. It's one of my weaker tracks, so a lonely
neither, by the way.
race wasn't. Yeah, it's a very difficult and technical track, but honestly, as you said, a lonely day is not exactly a bad one. It was. Yeah, I was in fourth to begin with, and then I dropped down to fourth from the start. Just trying to play it safe. Just didn't want to battle anyone too hard because I think I knew the likes of Adam and Kevin were going to be just that little bit too quick for me. So I just kept it clean, and then I think there's an incident with Jacob, which was unfortunate. So got up to third, and after that it was just keeping it on the track, trying to be consistent, and just pushing to try and keep up with Kevin. But I think around about maybe after the pit stop or so, it was just about navigating the lap traffic as cautiously as I could, not take any risks, and just bring it home in third.
Absolutely, Mr. Clinworth.
Yeah, they may say one is the loneliest number, Nathan, but your setup definitely seemed to have a lot of friends behind it. How much effort did you guys put into having this setup go that fast tonight?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I do a little bit of practice and stuff. I get a little bit of help, but it's still a lot of work to do on the setup department. I'm not exactly the best in that area, but the car felt well balanced. It was decently quick, but yeah, nothing. Couldn't get anywhere near Adam or Kevin, unfortunately. But happy with the podium nonetheless.
Absolutely. Well, we're happy to have you here. Any friends, family, sponsors, teammates you'd like to shout out before you go? The floor is yours, Mr. Moore.
I'll just give a shout out to you guys at P1 Broadcasting. It's really appreciate the effort you guys put into broadcasting these races every week, and I'm looking forward to week 7.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to having you, sir. Keep going fast, having fun, and we'll see you next week, Nathan.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. That is Nathan Moore, P3 on the day, and we'll go ahead and grab a very familiar face to both the broadcasters and the viewers at home. That's the General Kevin Brell. Kevin, little bit of contra-temps at the beginning, and then it was you and Adam exchanging fastest laps for pretty much the entire run.
Yeah.
Tell us about it, my man.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, before anything else, I just, I have to apologize for what happened with Jacob at the start. I mean, when I went back and looked at the replay, like the way I thought in which I made contact with him, it was like even worse, and it just looks like I just drilled his right rear. So, I mean, some people might say, "Oh, well, net code, whatever," but there's no excuse because I need to leave as much space as I can, and it was sloppy. So. Yeah, lesson learned, I guess. I mean, that was unfortunate, and no excuse on my part. But other than that, I mean, go ahead.
Did you take damage from that? We couldn't. We tried to play the good spotter and check your car out, but couldn't.
I apparently did not. It was a 0x to 4x, and the damage report told me I had nothing. So, yeah, I mean, if we look at the gap from me to Adam in the race, I would have expected even more based on his qual. I could have had maybe a little more in qual, but he just had really good race pace, and there was not a lot I could do. I felt like I drove fairly consistently, and traffic didn't really cause any issues, but that was just nothing, and that's tough. I felt like I drove a lot better in the race than I did in qual, and it still wasn't enough. So back to the drawing board, I guess. It's very hard for me to max out the track limits here, especially I get afraid in Thunder Valley, even like China Beach, and pretty much everywhere. Actually, turn one, all of it. I'm just terrified of dying in some horrendous way. So just gotta work on that, and hopefully close the gap a little bit at some point. We'll see.
Mr. Clinworth.
Yeah, to me it looked like it might have been in fire-off pace, because once Adam got out to about 3 or 4 seconds ahead of you, he kind of stayed there. Are you going to attribute that all to your track limit aversion, or do you think there's maybe something to be found in the setup? Or
could be.
What do you think?
I took a little bit of camber out actually in the race set for what I was running, because it seemed to keep the pace better. I mean, in testing, it was better over a stint, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just that we had higher track usage or what, with already starting with high usage or whatever, and then tons of cars running 40 laps here, but the tires didn't seem to fall off that badly, and all I really did was just cost myself a little bit of start pace, and I don't know. I mean, I think I also just need to really work on getting the reds to come in quickly. It's something I just kind of... There's a fine line between, driving aggressively enough to heat them up fast and then having one little micro slide and you lose like 0.3 a lap for the entire stint. So it's it's a tough one, especially here where it feels like it's just a struggle to even stay alive.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin, for coming up, and congratulations on your second place run. Any friends, family, sponsors, anybody you'd like to shout out, my man? I know you got them.
Obviously, the guys are fiercely forward. Christian came up with a banger for the baseline this week, and then I just kind of tweaked a bit. Obviously the other guys weren't running today; they're all fresh off of Daytona 24 and the MCE Sports stuff. But it still is good, and they provide a lot of help. So of course them, and I mean that's about it. I'll see you guys around. Cheers.
Hey, cheers to you, my friend. Keep going fast, having fun, and we will see you next week, Kevin.
Thanks. Have a good one.
You do the same. So that's Kevin Burrell. He is second on the day, excuse me. And we'll bring up the man of the hour. That is Adam Blocker. And Adam, you started on the pole with near track record pace. You led every lap. Come home with the W. You made it look easy, my friend. Tell us how you did it.
Yeah, I mean, put together a good qualifying lap with no mistakes, and it's always really easy to kind of over push here, but this is such a rhythm momentum track that it's really important to just hit the line and have an accurate lap, and that's what I did. Then kind of goofed up the start a little bit because I didn't realize the green was going to come out so soon, so I ended up going on green, so that's why Jacob got such a good start, but was able to defend him on the first lap, and then obviously some things happened behind, but from there just kind of built into a rhythm. And fortunately, Mid-Ohio is a kind of a really good track to lead from, because you don't really have to push to go fast. You just kind of settle into a rhythm and just flow with the track, really.
Yeah, I mean, just a sterling drive. Kyle, do you have anything for Mr. Blocker?
Yeah, the best advice I've been given to go fast here is to wait longer than you would think every time you want to get to the gas. How is it that you can carry so much speed through the corners like you do today? What tips do you give to aspiring wannabe Adam Blockers in the world?
Well, not. I would say tracks like Barber in Ohio, which tend to be better tracks for me. It's just all about like smooth brake release, really. I think it all starts from that. I think places like turn 1, people tend to apply too much pressure and have a harsh release, and you really just have to be really smooth on the brake release and just roll mid speed, which is kind of what I like to do. And I tend to struggle on the tracks where you have to do the opposite. So yeah, tracks like Barber and Mid Ohio are typically a little bit more natural for me. And yeah, then like I said, you just like, especially on the reds, you had to be so patient on throttle and just everything to not overheat the tires and just be smooth. So
Good deal.
Well, easier said than done. I've definitely got to go to school and learn how to do those things myself.
Yeah, I was going to say, great tips as always, Adam. It's always a pleasure to have you up here in the booth. I know you probably have other things to do tonight. Friends, family, sponsors, anybody you'd like to give a shout out to, you won the race, my man. The floor is yours for as long as you like.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody at Powerslide for all the setups and all the work like normal, and everybody for coming out and making it a good race. And congrats to Kevin and Nathan on the podiums and Nick on the P4. And yeah, see y'all sometime.
For sure, for sure. Keep going fast and having fun, my man. We'll see you next week, hopefully.
Yep, see you then.
Absolutely. So that is Adam Blocker. He is P1 tonight on the P1 Broadcasting Network. And Clindy, the show continues on. We've had some burners. It may not have. We've had some bangers and some burners this year in this season in this series so far. We haven't quite yet had a duel for the lead on one of these, but the battling through the field, for Adam and Kevin and Nathan, it wasn't hot, but the battling through the field from really 4th to 10th was anybody's game all night.
Hey, I tried my hardest to fight for the lead at Kansas, but got exposed as being a fixed oval merchant and not one who can drive a setup. So let it be clear that next week at Gateway, I anticipate there being some bumping and banging and some dive bombs into turn 1 for the race lead. I think it's going to be on the agenda, and everyone who tunes in to the channel is going to be served a treat. Another one from the Midwest.
For sure. And that's the name of the game here on the P1 Broadcasting Network. We do have a full slate of racing for our fans out there, and there were a lot of you that tuned in. Tomorrow night, well, I take that back. Tonight, you will get to see Clindy and I bang wheels at the former Speedway, formerly known as Auto Club. That's the big oval at Fontana. That's at 9:30. Gary Godso and LGN will have the broadcast right here on the P1 Broadcasting Network. Tomorrow, the oval top split. So the Indy Oval Series counterpart to this will be on at 7:15. That is from Chicagoland. Wednesday, we've got the Formula Indy Series and the Horizon INDYCAR Series at 8:20 and 8:30 respectively. Gary Godso and Stephen Larkamp on the FIS side. Myself, I will be on the Horizon broadcast with my good friend Ryan Eric King beginning February 13th, and you'll want to circle that date. Beginning February 13th, I will begin to televise the American Motorsport Association, the Xfinity Series on Thursday, and their featured series, which is the trucks, on Friday. That'll be a complement to our IndyCar broadcasts. And then Saturdays, once the real IndyCar Series, the in real life IndyCars begin to run, we will start to have the iRacing IndyCar Series. That's going to start in March, as well as the Votive and Dark Horse Series continuing on Sunday nights. For everybody at the P1 Broadcasting Network, Mark Murphy, Kyle Clinworth, and our founder Gary Godso, we would love to thank our first responders, the police, fire, military, really all the people that do all the hard work, the EMTs, all the people that do the hard work at night so that we can stay safe and sleep well. We do want to give a shout out to them and thank them. A lot of them got their due today throughout the news with the inauguration, and so it was great to see all of those fine people on display. And Clindy, you and I have to get in the virtual jet and head for Fontana, my man.
Yeah, we got a long layover. Hopefully we can make it to the track on time, and I won't get ticketed for speeding this week.
Absolutely. So I will see Mr. Clinworth in about an hour. For everybody else, if you'd like to join us, that would be absolutely tremendous. We will see you next week from Gateway.